Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. Tonight we are back with the final episode of Ready to Love Season 4 Reunion Part 2. If you are new here, then welcome. If you are back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Child, y'all know what they say in the beginning of the reviews. Like, comment, subscribe, do whatever y'all gonna do, honey. Just make sure that you keep coming back. Child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. So it picks up where it left off with Kyra having to make a decision, not her strongest suit. Kyra says, to AJ, my heart was into it, but it shouldn't be that hard. They're friends and he can pursue her if he wants to, but he really doesn't have to. Basically, chase me and catch me if you can. What a waste of time. Moving forward. So then we shift to Troy and his COVID kisses, and we see all the cheek kisses and buddy passes he was offering to the ladies. So Tommy said, how many women of my 10 did you offer a trip? Tommy, these are not your daughters, okay? So he was like, 2. So Tommy said, by show of hands, how many of you were offered a trip by Troy? So then they all raised their hand. Here go Verneisha. I was offered the first one. Well, girl, that ain't cute. And the way Mr. Bourbon Street acting, honey, you should have said yes. So Tommy said, that's half the cast. Why? He said, look, I had a short amount of time to make these connections. And Tommy said, I thought you had a connection with Amber. Amber, were you turned off by all the kissing? And she's like, yeah, I was definitely turned off. So Tommy said, did you learn anything about the process? And, basically Troy said, yeah, to do my dirt off camera. And so Tommy said, well, in the real world, there aren't cameras following you around in everyday life. So Troy said, listen, everyday life is everyday life. That's not my normal MO. Amber said, well, then why did you say it was your signature move? Honey, not a little cross-examination of the witness. Amber gonna be a DA if she don't do nothing else. So then Troy said, sometimes in my greeting, I kiss. So Amber said, well, then you should call it a greeting. Troy said, guilty as charged. I laughed so hard at that because I was thinking, she really is acting like you are on the witness stand, honey. That was hilarious. So then we revisit Andrea and her feline fiasco, and we see never before seen footage of them discussing this cat, right? So Tommy said, did you ever find the cat? And she's like, yeah. So Tommy said, well, what did you learn by going through this? Honey, she was only there for 5 minutes. She said, I learned to be more assertive. Honey, it should have been not to be talking about the wrong cat on a date. Moving forward. So then we get to the mess, y'all, because y'all know that's what we're here for. We see Jason and Kyra, and we take a look back at their journey, right? So Liz was smiling, trying to keep it classy, but baby, I know she was thinking, did you just kiss her with them same little teeth you've been kissing me with? And did, okay? So Tommy said, Jason, why the sudden change in the way you felt about Kyra? Jason said, listen, as time went on, Kyra didn't make up her mind. And, it was getting down to the end and she was still acting like she didn't know. And I was telling her, listen, Kyra, this is the end. We have a deliberation after this. He said, how do you expect me as a man to bank on that? Okay, I caught that. Jason, listen directly to me, honey. I'm talking directly to you. Now, I have been going to bat for you for the past few weeks. Don't make me look foolish, because right now I'm feeling very foolish, honey. He called me Ashanti. I don't like that. Okay, what it sounded like to me is that you picked Liz out of panic for fear that Kyra would not choose you. Now, I don't know if anybody else picked it up how he put it down, but that's exactly how it came across to me. But then you tried to hurry up and clean it up and say, plus I had a strong connection with Liz. Child. And I really like her. So at this point, it's just me trying to understand Kyra. I'm just curious. Jason, you're talking too much, honey. You're doing a little bit too much talking. So then Kyra said, my vulnerability and honesty with you was not a safe space. Girl, please, honey. It was safe up until he chose Liz. I don't know why Kyra is acting like Jason is a scumbag. Okay, you didn't feel safe with AJ. You didn't feel safe with Jason. Child, you're just talking at this point. So she said, I felt after the guys chose me that there was like a shift. And she said, I didn't ask him who was in his top. He volunteered that information to me. He kept saying Liz was his other choice and that if I kept doing this, that him and Liz were going to grow if I didn't make a decision. He's like, Kyra, no. Well, Kyra, why didn't we hear about this at your little last sit down? Honey, it's sounding like a lie. She said, I opened up to you and you do me like that? She said, I really tried to handle him with care. So basically it was trauma bonding. That's what I'm getting from this. That's what I'm getting from it all up and through. So then Jason said, do you want me to give to you something that you didn't give to me? She said, I had to make a decision, but you did. And I told, this is my truth. And honey, they going back and forth. And everybody's sitting back watching them argue about not choosing each other, including Liz and AJ. I'm like, oh my goodness. So he was like, I was torn. I have feelings for Liz and I have feelings for you. Listen, you're smart. You're a great speaker. But when it comes to matters of the heart and communication, you ain't hitting on nothing. Okay? That's basically what he said. I just judged it up. He was like, so why are you mad? So then Tommy steps in. And I'm like, okay, this is enough, honey. I have had enough. And says, look, y'all made y'all decisions. Now let me make mine. Listen, let me just say this. The bottom line is they're both two athletes that were looking to win. Jason, let me put it in basketball terms for you, baby. Now, hopefully I get this right. You and Kyra were both at the shot clock, okay? You got to shoot a 3 in order to win the game. Time was ticking, and it was time for you to shoot your shot, but Kyra blocked it. You decided to shoot anyway and shot a 3 at the last minute and won Liz's heart. Now, y'all, please never speak to each other again. Child. Y'all having a full-on passionate exchange, honey. Jason going back and forth. Oh, no, ma'am. So then he goes and sit next to Liz, right? Looking all unsure. So Liz was like, you did what needed to be done. And what did he do besides express that he chose you because Kyra hemmed and hawed? Honey, I am appalled by him. He did not do a good job. She's like, you spoke your speech and that's it. Baby, Jason looked bothered as hell. As Liz was talking, Kyra kind of glanced back at her, right? I was thinking to myself, Kyra, honey, keep your eyes on your own paper. Now we see David and his 3-code verification date with Stacy. We revisit him asking for her password. So Tommy said, David, do you think it got blown out of proportion? David was like, yes, let me give you the context in which it was said. Marriage is the ultimate goal. Oh, child. For oneness, transparency, and everything, full disclosure. I don't need their passwords. I need their heart. Lies, honey, and you don't need anybody's heart. You need a therapist. Child, David, please. You just want to control somebody, honey. So Tommy said, what made that a red flag for you, Stacy? She said, if you're telling me up front you're going to need A, B, C, and D, and my firstborn, then, to move forward, then that's a problem for me. David said, I agree. One is on the journey and one is while we're in marriage. So Tommy said, by show of hands, how many of you will share your passwords? So Kyra said, are we talking about husbands or are we talking about boyfriends? He was like, we're talking about husbands or if you're married. So everybody raised their hand that was going to raise their hand. And I looked up and I saw AJ. I said, AJ, if you don't put your hand down, honey, I know you lying. Child, and then Amber gonna raise her hand after seeing KG raise his hand. KG, take notes, honey. Stay woke. David said, we probably did a disservice to people, by saying things like this. So Stacy said, no, we actually did a good service to people because people that are on 2 different ends of the spectrum that are having a disagreement can see how their different viewpoints can come together. So Tommy said, if y'all would have said this in the beginning, do y'all think it would have worked? She said, yeah, I think so. And David's in his suit. He's still trying to explain. Okay, David Ruffin, honey, no more explanations, please. Moving forward. So, Tommy, I want to ask you this question. Why are we skipping to Joel and Verneisha when we need to keep this energy on David? Honey, we need the same energy that you gave Ron. It better come when he speaks with Liz. Because, honey, I'm not liking how we're just transitioning on like ain't nothing happening. So then we see the flashbacks of Joel and Verneisha and Joel and his little short set at the end. And baby, they sitting so far apart on the couch. Verneisha could have been at the house. I said, Verneisha, your green sequins dress, honey, could have been at the house as far as you're sitting apart from Joel. So Tommy said, y'all look like something wrong. Verneisha said after 2 weeks, he just switched up, started acting brand new as we knew he would. She said, it's not like what y'all saw on camera. We don't really talk anymore. That's my decision. Honey, let us know. Let us know, Verneisha, that you called the shots. I know that's right. She said, I just feel like he kept telling me I was moving too fast, but I was basically moving at the same pace as before. And she said he finally told me that he slowed down, and that really hurt my feelings because I kept asking him, what's wrong? And he downplayed our relationship, and that just really hurt me. And I know that it did because I feel like Verneisha was really there for love. And when I looked at her face, she legit looked like she was going to cry. Okay? And I mean, quite frankly, Verneisha, honey, you dodged a bullet. Okay? Because nobody wants to be with him in his struggling career and his YouTube rap videos, honey, that he making down there on Bourbon Street for the free. Girl, you dodged the bullet, honey. And that style of dress, honey, I really would want to be bothered with him. So Tommy said, what did he do to hurt you? She said he blamed me for everything falling apart. And when they were filming, they did everything together. They left set every day together. They went to go get breakfast and all of that. She said they stopped being intimate. 'Cause we're not making love no more. We ran out of words. We ran out of words to say. Shout out to Drew Hill. Joel, the audacity, honey, the unmitigated gall. Child, Anyway, so then Tommy trying to get to the bottom of it, okay? And Joel hit her with a Kanye West. I'm going to allow Verneisha to finish, but I'm a friendly person. And I didn't have people's numbers, but I'm friends with everyone. Verneisha said, Joel is so big on being friends with everybody, he neglected me. Honey, he was neglecting you during the show. We tried to tell you. So Joel said, let her tell it, I'm dating Stacy. Verneisha said, well, that's the word on the street. He was hanging with freaking Frack more than he was hanging with her, y'all. Stacy gonna look at Chrysanthemum, as Ron calls her. And I'm like, why you looking at her? But Stacy was looking like, now why am I in it? Then she said, Stacy asked him if he was single, and he said, I'm single. Child, let the streets have him. You heard me, honey, and I'm glad we do not have to be worried about every Friday at 8 p.m. hearing him say Central Standard Time, saying, baby, and you heard me every 5 minutes. So trust me, you're better off. So Tommy said, have you been going out with Stacy? He said, no, I went to watch parties. Stacy asked if he had a girlfriend, and Joel said, I don't have a girlfriend. And she said, I'm talking about Verneisha. And he said, we're taking things slow, but I never downplayed her. She said, I asked him verbatim, is it me and you, or are we dating exclusively, or what? Because if I knew he was moving like that, I would move like that too. I don't have to chase no man. Never have and never will. Child, poor Verneisha. I knew that wasn't going to work. I knew when he didn't take his wardrobe seriously. I told y'all then. When he put that short set on with that jacket that came from the wardrobe department and not his house, I knew then that he did not take Verneisha seriously. Child, let him and his little vests go head on. Child, Verneisha, charge it to the game. So Verneisha was apologizing to Stacy for believing the he say, she say, right? So Stacy was like, you was acting real ugly with me. Verneisha said, I just don't like certain things you do. Sometimes you don't respect boundaries. You had your hand all on his chest. Of course, Stacy denied it. Child, ain't nobody worried about Joel, honey. Direct that to him. He's for the streets, moving forward. Joel said, she tried to dictate things I did. She wanted to spend the night. I wasn't ready for that. Well, she was thinking if she was good enough to smash, then she definitely is good enough to spend a night. Honey, I know I would have. But then again, Verneisha, he does have small children, so you just can't be spending the night all willy-nilly. But this is Joel, so I'm really not buying anything that he's saying. He's like, and then I need to give another example. Amber sent me a text. She said, listen, I'm sorry your mother-in-law died. Let me know if you need anything, even if it's just to go out to eat. Amber, why you always texting people? You a little bit too friendly. KG, I know you be doing the kumbaya and the whatnot, but Amber's just a little bit too friendly for me. So then Joel said, she said she would have been mad if I went out with her alone. Well, it is Amber, honey. She got a Delilah spirit. Listen, us women know who should and shouldn't be alone with our men. Plus, Verneisha and Joel were for show anyway, honey. She was serious, but he was there just for exposure. So she looked at Amber. She's like, I told you that? And Amber said, yeah, you did. You said you wouldn't want him going alone with me, honey, as she should. Girl, please. So Tommy said, well, is there a communication thing that's going on between the two of you? Verneisha said, he don't talk to me. Whatever they tell him, he just run with that. Yes, because he was not serious about you. So Tommy said, do you care for her? He's like, yeah, but I had to take a step back. You heard me? Good. I'm glad you took a step back. Tommy, stop trying to talk them into being together. It's a no-go. Okay? I don't even want to continue on with that part because, baby, the two of them should not be doing anything to mend fences. Let them go their separate ways. So then we take a break. Here come Dietrich. Verneisha, he's scared. She said, scared of what? He said, of you. Well, then leave me alone then. Honey. If you don't want me, then don't talk to me. Go ahead and free yourself. Honey, hit him with that Fantasia. Honey, if you don't want to be around, then go head on. But that's that silly mess that you like to do, honey. That's that silly stuff you be on, Dietrich. Talking about somebody scared. He is a grown man. He is not scared of Verneisha. He was there for a good time, not a long time. He ain't scared of her, honey. He wanted sex and exposure, and he got both. And why are you trying to convince her to continue with a man that is not interested in her? Honey, he just wanted to make it to the end. Child, moving forward. So now we're back from break, and they show Liz and David, right? So Tommy said, David, now why wouldn't you allow Liz to finish? That was just wrong. Tommy, you're giving nothing. Honey, I'm going to need you to pipe up just a little bit more. He said, there's a lot more to it. David, cut the crap, honey. You have rehearsed this lie at the house because you knew you would be asked about it. You're lying. Tommy says, looks like you were trying to get to quit before you got fired. And was. So then David said, no, there's a lot more to that. She told me that she's had men around, and every time a man gets close, they leave her. See, this is why you can't reveal too much too soon, because they will use it against you. He said, do you remember that? She said, yeah, I remember that. That's my testimony. I know that's right, Liz. Oh, my goodness. When I tell y'all I'm going to use that one, I loved that answer. Honey, you will not be exposing me. That's my testimony. Now, what else is going on? I know that's right. So Tommy said, well, what made you think it was okay to ask in front of other people if she was going to kiss Jason again? He said, no, I didn't do that. She said, he's lying. It definitely happened. David, all you do is lie, honey. So Liz said he looked at her and said, oh, you're seeing Jason? Well, did you kiss him? Are you going to kiss him again? David said, that's a lie. And I don't even want to use that word. David. Okay. David said, this is so strong right now. That's not the truth. David, get in front of her then, honey. Liz is acting like the enemy. Get in front of her, honey. Devil with the blue dress, blue dress, blue dress. Devil with the blue dress on. Baby, David looked at Liz and said, this is the enemy, honey. It's so strong right now. David, you are full of crap, honey. Liz said she had to explain herself to his friends because she was embarrassed. David was like, that's not what I said. So, David, this lady, with no reason to lie whatsoever, made all of this up. Okay. I'm not buying it. So then he was like, and then she called me asking something about number ones. And, I just figured I needed to remove myself before she tried to remove me. So then Tommy pulled rank and he was like, well, you know what? If you're going to be removing yourself, then everything needs to go through me. That goes through me. Okay, Tommy, honey, but your energy for David was too lackluster for me. So you're giving nothing. Okay. So I'm just not buying it, honey. So Tommy said, this is why it's unfair. Tommy said, this is why it's not fair. The ladies had to sit down with you and hear that they were not ready to love. But when it was your turn, you couldn't take the heat. And didn't, honey, couldn't take the heat and couldn't take nothing else. Child looked like he was taking a bottle to the head, but that's neither here nor there. That's allegedly. So anywho, so then we see Jason and Liz's journey. When the tape finished, honey, Kyra's face was looking crazy as hell. Do y'all hear me? Kyra was looking at the two of them becoming one. Honey, I was looking like, baby, that Kyra, no. She knows she upset, honey. So Tommy said, what is it that you like about Jason? Liz said, I like his honesty. I feel like that's hard to find. His pursuit of me, his communication is very good. So then he asked Jason. Jason said, she positioned herself to be pursued. Honey, not the light shade toward Kyra, honey, because I sure caught it. He said, she allowed me to pursue her, and women that I've dealt with in the past, they don't know how to move when a man is pursuing them. Then the shady producers focused on Kyra for like 30 seconds. And let me tell y'all something. I screamed for the entire 30 seconds. I laughed so loud, child. Oh my goodness, that was good to me, honey. So he was like, she really allowed me to go through the process and make the decisions that I needed to make. So Tommy said, okay, but now how is the intimacy? Are we still waiting? She said, we're intimate, but my standards are still the same. So everybody was looking kind of crazy. Stacy was definitely looking crazy. So Tommy said, well, how are you intimate? She said, we hug and we kiss. This is what I need people to understand. People, intimacy is more than sex. Conversations with your partner can be considered intimate. Honey, it's not all about sex. There are different ways to become intimate. But Jason, nah, honey, you better propose quick, honey, because it's cute in the beginning. It's cute now. But she ain't laying horizontally until she get that ring and walk down the aisle. So I mean, if you gonna want to get it popping, then you gonna need to pop out one of those rings, okay? He said, Jason said, look, I know her standards. I don't allow things to go past a certain point for him, for her, and for God. Oh, I love it. He said, we've really grown. Leah said he met my family. I feel safe with Jason, and he's kind of like my father. I was like, wow. They do say that certain people's spouses are parallel to their parents. So when she said that, she really looked up to her dad. If you check her Instagram or whatever, her late father was everything to her. Okay. So the fact that she's found that in Jason, I'm sure that makes all the difference. She's like, and no matter what happens on this journey, we'll always be solid. So honey, they're still together. Jason, don't mess it up. And congratulations. So after she said that, Tommy asked everybody to give them a round of applause, right? Honey, that was the lightest applause I had ever heard. Baby, they may as well have been hitting them with a poetry finger snap. Child, because they did not want to clap for them, honey. I was looking like, I know y'all can put more zhuzh on it than that. So then Tommy went around the room to see where they are now. So David said, I'm dating. It's new. David, quit lying, honey. Next. Alexis said, I'm at peace and my king will come. Alexis, do not DM AJ another time. AJ, still chasing Kyra. Chrysanthemum, still traveling the friendly skies and dating. KG and Amber, Tommy said, well, how do you feel about giving a second chance? Honey, bills paid, okay? That's how he feels about it. Bills paid. No, but he did say, all I can say is redemption. Liz and Jason said, we're exclusive and they're ready to love. Child, and that was the end of the part 2 reunion. Child, y'all join me next season as we get into the mess. Don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. We still got to put a ring on it and all things on Love and Marriage Huntsville. So keep checking me out and we're going to keep checking in. As always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.